the bottom lane is concerned. Death is a very good lethality Varus player, though. So looking forward to seeing how that one goes. And no surprises as the Ezreal gets locked away, as Wolf let us know about.
Feels bad that that could have just been banned away. You wouldn't have had to deal with this threat. There were still other options available, and Thresh was still up, so you could have had like a Jinx Thresh option as Live Sandbox here. But
Cannon, it's a very comfortable pick for him, and he is a very dominant top laner when he's having his day. But have Live Sandbox
players like Croco, who are rookies, right? New to the LCK, Prince as well. Very new player here, and we'll see how they do hold up to the pressure, because he's up against Deft, who's one of the most storied players of all time, who's been on countless world stages, you know, has played more best of fives than almost anyone.
Thankfully, on the bottom side of the map, Effort is there as well. Certainly a wealth of experience for himself.
Not actually going to be able to finish it off. Don't feel confident enough. Don't have enough vision on the red side of the jungle.
Well, Prince might actually have the Arcane Shift over this wall, and actually decides not to. Goes down very, very low. He's only just come back to the lane, as well as Fate. Looks for a potential Emperor's Divide, but does not pull the trigger. Wasn't quite in range of Chovy, I don't think. We're sort of commentating off the minimap here for the moment, as the rotation down should be first for Summit. As Croco comes on in, Wind becomes Lightning, not going to find the target, and Chovy rotates over. Croco not going to bite off more than he can chew. Just throws out a little bit of a Devil Teemo to bait Chovy a little bit, and kind of does. As the, chains don't land. Chovy is going to be able to get out of here, but did have to invest absolutely everything, and no, not out in the end. It is going to be First Blood going over to Croco. Not really playing with the side lanes too much, is Willa. Just trying to keep up with this Viego as best he can, as Death going to avoid the Zenith play, but there's the flash forward from Effort. Doesn't find the Solar Flare, though, as now the stun is going to come through onto the Leona. She'll go down, and Death grabs that kill. Now every teleport in the game is going off, and Summit finds a 4-man ulti. Emperor's Divide to just add to the cacophony. Morgan picks up a kill, as well as Harmalife trying to get the heck out of here, but they're not going to be able to. Only Vista and Chovy are going to survive, and Croco, he wants even more. The Heartbreaker comes down. It's a good exhaust, as now Chovy looks for the Viego. Vista stands beside him, and eventually the kill does go through, but that was exciting. Ezreal died somewhere as well, which was cool, but we didn't see it. Effort has a blast cone if he wants to get on in here, but it's 4 members of Harmalife Esports, so Live Sandbox probably not going to want to really head over there. As Croco's slinking around in the mist, and Harmalife might just be collapsed on. There's the Solar Flare, instantly cleansed, used by Deft. Stun not going to land there from Croco, as Effort may have thrown his life away again. Goes Golden, holds onto it for a little while, but there goes Willer, and there are the Chains of Corruption as well to lock down that kill. Chovy looks for the chains to connect, as Fate takes a lot of damage from the piercing arrow, and it might be enough to get Harmalife this dragon.
Yeah, they're going to get the first dragon of the game here, and this is, you know, Live Sandbox again looking for a fight, just like the last one off of an engage from Effort. He has the Solar Flare, but cleanses up for Death, and at that moment you've got to back off. He continues forward, he Zenith Blades in, and you just went too far. Meanwhile,
Summit could be in trouble here. There's the Hextech ultimatum. Slicing Maelstrom from Summit as well. The rest of the team are moving on in, as Morgan does manage to get that flash to come out, but he's not going to be safe for too much longer. Chovy trying to escape as well. Willa certainly not as lucky. Distortion going to avoid the stun from Croco. And I think that Morgan should have another hookshot relatively soon, but unfortunately not quite soon enough. Solar Flare is going to miss, and Fate is able to pick up that kill in the end. Deals with the zombie ward, and Baron vision certainly well established by Live Sandbox. They have so much Baron damage as well with this Azir, especially as Chovy looking for Croco, does find the chains, as there's the follow-up CC explode. Goes Croco.
Boom.
Yeah. You know, she exists.
Yeah.
Level 14 to the level 16 of Cannon. So maybe that's a reason why it's going to be a bit of a problem here, as good stun comes through, but Slicing Maelstrom strong. We've seen this exact play before, as Summit is trying to get the kill onto Morgan. The stun comes through, though, and he will be taken down. In the meantime, though, the Baron is getting taken. Harmon trying to do their best to stop this one. Maybe it's going to be a 50-50, as Willa does have flash available. Chains of Corruption come in. There is the Emperor's Divide, as Death moves over to the side. That is going to be Croco securing the Baron, but Effort goes down once again. Vista inside the pit, and he'll be taken out, as Morgan now diving on into the pit, has to flash away immediately, and now Willa wants to get even more, but he's not going to be able to find it. In fact, he's just going to fall flat on his face But I mean, I don't know what he's supposed to do in this scenario. Effort. Taking distortion to the face there. As you can see, the Baron down to 4,000. It is just gone. Will is never going to be able to get here. As Effort might be in trouble. There's Chovy. Gets a flash, but looks like Live Sandbox just want to get out of here, go for a bit of a reset, and then crash down towards some turrets once again. 8,000 gold the lead, and the control is not stopping. Live Sandbox not going to take any fights they don't feel are absolutely perfect for them. In the context of Live Sandbox, it's exactly what we want.
Yes.
In the context of League of Legends and wanting our teams to be decisive, it's the opposite. But that's not what we're here for. As Chovy going to get slowed down. There's a Chains of Corruption. Possibly an opportunity here for Hanwha as Chovy tries to get back in again, but it's not quite going to work. Good piercing arrow. But Live Sandbox just keeping themselves alive. It's not even Ocean Soul yet. They still seem like an immovable object. As Chovy dashes in one more time. Oh my goodness. Fate just does so much damage. Chovy is able to avoid the True Shot barrage, but he has to go back to base. Looks like Live Sandbox just want to get themselves this Ocean Soul, and then they'll come back and continue the siege. As Morgan getting closed in on him by about 4 people, as there's a teleport back. Def trying to get some damage down as goodbye Vista. Chovy's teleported in. That's the Emperor's Divide. The distortion to get him away. Now Fate's closing in on the rest of the team as Morgan dives on forward trying to be a hero, but he's just dead. Not quite an opportunity as Willa wants to take one with him, but he's not going to be able to. And I think, Wolf, this is the end of the game as Live Sandbox find themselves the team fight, and Hanwha Life Esports find themselves way too far behind.
Unfortunately, Morgan never given any help. He got dominated by Summit. Fate controlled the lane. They got all of those early skirmishes to work extremely well for them. Their comp is so good for it, but it's also great for late game, and that's just all it takes.
Yeah. Just need to, cross some I's and dot some T's, Wolf, I believe, as these Nexus turrets, the next ones to go down. Feels like it was in a little bit of slow motion, but I don't think there was any moment in this game where Live Sandbox weren't in 100% control. Summit's going to go golden for the fun of it, flashes around a little bit as well, and there goes the Nexus. Game number 1. But you can see, Prince on Ezreal, you're like, most people are saying, why does he get this? Effort on Leona is another one. Like, this guy has played more than half of his games on this champion.
Yeah.
Just try and deny it.
They could have banned either of those, but
all 5 of these picks.
Yeah. Well, they dropped the ban before Ezreal, and it was so obvious. It was so apparent. Like, it is glaring at you, like, with big open eyes, and they dropped the ban, and...
Add to that pick possibility that Hanwha does have, and there's the Aphelios that we were talking about. Absolutely no surprise. So
it's a different version of Game 1.
It is,
but very only slightly.
Yeah, you say different. It's I say maybe variation.
1% different.
Yeah.
Well, look,
I don't want to see that 60 CS gap again.
No.
On the top side, because Camille just did absolutely nothing. Gets that health bar back up pretty effectively as we've got... Okay, this is an aggressive move. As let's see whether Hanwha Life Esports can actually crash this one effectively. You can see the minion wave moving on through. It's very far away on Live Sandbox's side, as now we've got a teleport coming forward. Effort getting taken down very low. Remember, doesn't have the flash, so he's just dead. And Deft picks up the Tarot Dagger, just walks out of the way. A beautiful dive for Hanwha Life Esports. Where was this team? The Dragon should be coming through next. Good stun to land here as there's the follow flash immediately. Morgan gets himself a bit of a shield, but he's still dead, and Summit picks up the solo kill.
But at least Hanwha Life Esports are able to play again around this bottom side. They'll continue to do so, in fact.
They're going to go for it. There's the flash. Sorry, there's the exhaust to come through there as Effort's just going to get taken down ever so comfortably. And yes, Morgan's getting exactly the same treatment, but this time...
Oh, absolutely. I think that Def was never a problem all year long, or probably at any point in his career, but in summer, he was definitely the shining light.
Well, Hook is going to connect there. They're going to see if they can take down Effort before they inevitably do fall, because Hanwha Life are a little bit too far forward, ladies and gentlemen. Deft is going to be taken down. We cast a curse the heck out of him. I apologize to any Deft fans.
Morgan will be able to exist as a champion, because it's also not a fed Kennen.
Oh, okay. Here's an ultimate. We are committing for this one.
That
the
was
Undertow going to go completely wide. And yeah, he didn't invest his flash. So I guess there's that, as Willa is going to say, no, I don't like your a freak of freaks flare. Please come back here, Summit.
Krako's coming up here. You've got to be really careful right now as Willer and Morgan. No Hex Tech up. Might lose some flashes.
Yep. And the ultimate is going to be utilized here as Morgan just decides to go back in. Not sure about that one, as there's the Heartbreaker, gets the flash out of Morgan. And Croco flashes forward, finds the stun, and there's the cue from Summit to finish that one off. An overextension like you were talking about.
That's what I'm
and one
talking
that they
about.
saw from a mile away is now Fate looking to grab his first of the game as well. And he's going to get in there. Willa, no Ragnarok available. And yeah, swept under the rug as Fate just pushes him off the rift.
And this is one of those moments I hate to be right, but...
Oh, okay, well, Croco is just going to burn down. The chain is going to get flashed for, and Chovy picks up the kill. Nicely done. They at least trade one back.
Yeah, they're going to get a little consolation prize there, but it's one of those moments where I hate to be right about Life Esports taking this lead. And
Okay, there's Chains of Corruption, immediately cleansed by Prince, but he has to use everything outside of his flash. As in goes Morgan, he's going to get hooked immediately. Hook shot comes out as Summit also teleports towards the bottom side. Vista heroically saves his AD carry as the Q is not going to find the Kennen. Hanwha, they do still have a slight advantage, but can they 5v5 is the question. And the other one is, should they 5v5?
it's a tough call. The reward is high if you win this.
Oh, chains connect onto Summit. He is out of this fight now as Morgan finds the stun, but there's the lantern. And it's going to be a 50-50 on this, and it is going to be secured. Viego immediately falls down. Summit cannot participate in this one. Emperor's Divide for the disengage out of Fate, but Chovy just walks past the wall, and Morgan will pick up the 1-2 punch. Hanwha have finally woken up in this game, and Morgan is going to have Summit delivered to him on a silver platter. And now Effort going to get stunned. Beautiful flash from Vista to weave through the minions. It's a triple kill. And okay, Morgan, let's see what your Camille has this game.
Oh, okay. Well, this is control the side lane. You need to be the one who flanks it.
Chains of Corruption are going to connect. And Prince, yeah, it takes a little bit longer on the cleanse than he would have wanted to there, I think.
This is why I was talking about getting a stopwatch being so important.
No.
He didn't buy a stopwatch. He built the Void Staff.
And he's dead.
Goodbye.
Yeah, Summit might also struggle a little bit there, but no, Chovy not going to get greedy. As yes, Hanwha have just...
They're so far behind. I think they were just hoping, okay, well, we need the Kennen to do more damage consistently in the fight. We need him to carry. It's just a hard one to win as Effort. Bye-bye again.
And this is what happens when a pick comp gets ludicrously far ahead, right? It just becomes a game like this, and it looks like Live Sandbox are just stupid, but they actually just can't leave their base safely, right? Like,
yeah.
There could be a Chovy lurking.
Effort died there because he was trying to clear vision around Baron. If
Yeah.
you don't clear the vision around Baron, then the Baron gets taken without your knowledge and you lose the game. So, you know, it's a lose-lose scenario. Like you said, as the support, it's the hardest. Because you've got to clear that vision. And, I mean, at least this is going to be a cool play to trade.
Yeah, they might be able to get this inhibitor turret. I don't know whether they really want to take the inhibitor, nor that can they. And Saltwater Crocodile. Terrifying. As Prince? Okay, yeah, he was looking to try and find something. Moonlight Vigil didn't do a whole lot, though, as the hook is going to connect onto Vista and Summit. They're all too split up. The Kennen can't find any of the value. He goes golden, but then immediately goes into the black and white screen as now Morgan has joined the fight. Hextech Ultimatum says that Croco is not allowed to leave, and it's a double kill for the Viking. Life Esports might just be able to win off the back of this one.
Definitely going to be the case. There's the stopwatch from Summit. Very, very, very late in this game. It's not enough to turn the tides with the Hail Mary teleport. And as you said, Life Esports could just end.
Yeah. It's from, okay, in goes Fate, looks for the Emperor's Divide, finds Deft, but this time he's not 5-0-3. He's got a couple of stopwatches, and so he's in stasis for a little while, but it's not going to do it. So now we have a series on our hands. Effort finds himself a hook, but that is just before his Nexus is obliterated. It's a best of three. And it was really, really beautiful to watch. And Willa actually doing double the damage of Croco this time around. So all of those that were saying that Willa wasn't, wasn't good enough in this series, certainly looking a lot better in this game. And let's see whether Life Esports can utilize this for momentum moving forward. Morgan still, I mean, he didn't do a whole lot of damage, but the Camille worked in the end.
Yeah.
Chovy's just...
Would have liked the Thresh personally, because you're going to get a lot of value out of it with all four champions in a comp like this, but at the same time, Braum's so incredibly strong into Ezreal, which and Nidalee as well, but we've seen this work so well for Vista so far, so he's just going to stick with what's been working here and
in the lane left on its own as he possibly can. Let's see how this one works out, as it's the first time Life Esports are on the red side in this series. They're going to be very happy with that style. But Live Sandbox in a 5v5 are going to be very scary, as Chovy's going to flash the ult. I don't know whether he actually walked on the trap down there. Now he's looking to try and get underneath this one. Moonlight Vigil comes down from Deft, and it is going to connect. It's a very early cleanse, and unfortunately, that is going to mean that Prince is well and truly dead.
And this is a problem because Crescendum is up, so Deft is going to be able to do a lot of work to this turret. If it was, you know, I mean,
They do end up getting the Rift Herald, which, as you can see on the mini-map right now, with that delay on Camille's back, because we just watched this, you know how this one goes, but with the delay on Camille's back, like, this is what you gain as Liv Sandbox is,
In the meantime, Summit is dead. Heartbreaker comes through. Willa is going to get his Blade of the Ruin King and stab the Jace. So,
I'm going to drop this Rift Herald down. This is going to be good for getting Summit's damage online.
Spear not going to find the mark as Teleport. We're fully committing to this one. 4 members of Liv Sandbox towards the top side. Good ultimate from Vista, though, as the turret is immediately going to get taken down. Only one is caught by the ulti as Morgan doesn't have his Hextech ultimatum, and he will just be the one scooped out there. Hanwha now having to try and hold on to this inner turret as Shelly's going to get a double charge, and now Liv Sandbox.
Well, there hasn't been enough of a commitment to camp this Jace. As Willer comes up now. Here
I like how you say that, and immediately Harmalife delivers. Maybe they're just listening to you. Maybe you are actually shot calling for Harmalife Esports right now because they said yes. Yes, Wolf. We're going to... however, the Moonlight Vigil, definitely not a miss. As Morgan, he wanted another Siege minion, and once again, he's going to get punished for it. In goes Croco. Yes, there's a magic shield as the spear needs to connect. Doesn't. Croco now looking for another pounce, but the hook shot's there first as Chovy. He's locked a gold card and he's looking for the kitty cat. Another spear isn't going to connect. The Everfrost is too good as Willa is looking for some resets and he'll get him. Shock Blast going to be absorbed by Vista. That's why he's been picking this Braum back-to-back. Fate will look to come in. Summit has Teleport, and he has a big Shock Blast that you do have to be very careful of, and he's wrapping around. Emperor's Divide, not going to quite find the target. Good exhaust on this Summit, not actually going to die, though. As the Moonlight Vigil comes down, Summit will be eviscerated, and Deft is going to get closed in on as well, but not before Willa takes down this Nidalee. It's messy, but it looks like Liv Sandbox may have actually tidied this one up. Smite comes through, but it only buys a couple of seconds, and Morgan was still on the bottom side of the map. Chovy also, he's just going to be taking turrets. He's got that demolish he needs to make good use of.
This is such a huge win for Hanwha Esports because...
Yeah, actually worked out very, very nicely, as now Prince is going to get Destinied on. Chovy, now with his rapid fire cannon, comes through, gets the cleanse out of Prince. The Everfrost comes through. Wildcards are going to miss as Prince is buying a lot of time, but yeah, Braum, much more difficult to dodge because the auto attacks you and then you die, as now Fate is going to suffer the same outcome.
There you go.
Of this situation.
However, he gets away.
Okay, it's not going to be the same outcome. I take it all back. Maybe Fate is alive. He decided his own destiny.
Oh wait, that's the ultimate on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, Liv Sandbox, this is greedy.
Yeah, this is a very deep teleport. The Baron is just that little bit too slow from Liv Sandbox. I did kind of like the idea, but Moonlight Vigil comes in. Deft is just 1 versus 4, diving into the pit, trying to stop this Baron, and he's not going to get taken down. Yes, they lose the purple worm, but it looks like they're just going to murder everyone. It's a quadra kill. He was just by himself.
He pressed the R button and everybody died. That is basically how it goes. Like you said, nobody able to stop him. And this is actually going to be so massive for Hanwha Esports. It's a negative Baron buff, but as you mentioned, it's not about the worm in this case. It's about the kills, and they're just going to be able to walk down mid. They've got pressure as well in the top lane. So we're going to go back to this gold card moment here. Rapid fire cannon getting some value here. Cleanse comes through, but he's got the exhaust, and that's the end of that. But, I mean, this was a massive moment for Hanwha Esports. This win in this team fight against an extremely greedy Baron that Liv Sandbox took out of desperation. And like you mentioned, it's a good call considering the damage, but look at the Moonlight Vigil here. And then he just walks through everybody with a Severum out.
He just walked in there. And everybody else eventually gets through, but damn.
There's a lot of poke on the side of Liv Sandbox with their...
Okay, negative 2,000 gold Baron power play right now. Destiny comes through once again. As Harmalife now looking to pick their target, and they can choose exactly who they want. Prince is going to be the one, as Morgan has to go golden, but that is going to buy them easily enough time. Another double kill comes through, and now Summit might be the triple for Deft. There it is. Now Hanwha, they're hungry. They want to try and give him the penta, but he's just walking that little bit too slow. But as effort might go down, does have to go gold, as Prince trying to get himself out of there. Chovy in a bunch of trouble, or is he? As Summit has to flash away. Look at the poke damage Summit's just dead. The spears are connecting, but they just don't really mean anything.
He has, what, an Eclipse, and part of his second item is he have his Muramana completed Summit. Like,
yep, that's the Destiny, just to make sure they know exactly where everyone is. The backs are trying to get stopped here as well, as we're going to see how staggered they are. No. Most of Live Sandbox stayed together. That's the Solar Flare going to connect, but Chovy's done his job already. The Jace is dead, as now Willa possibly in trouble. Fate comes through, looks for a potential ultimate, but doesn't pull the trigger, doesn't find the opportunity. Heartbreaker comes through. There's the ult, but Def just presses his stopwatch button. Now Morgan's trying to dive on in. The tactical sweep grabs the Leona, and now Prince is trying to keep himself alive, but it's not going to work. Now Fate doing a fair bit, but it's just not enough. Vista trying to get over the wall, does so. Morgan catches the little kitty cat. He goes golden. There is no vision in that brush as Croco. Okay, that's going to be a quadra kill. Going over to Morgan. I mean, and Chovy is now looking to commit on this bottom side play on poor Summit. He's getting punished for how he treated Morgan in games 1 and 2. And you can understand the sentiment, but it looks very cruel at this stage of game number 3. Harmalife Esports back on the Baron once again. Croco, he's going to try and clear out some vision, so they're not going to want to flip it, but this is the thing. Hanwha can just keep starting this up over and over again because Camille Twist of Fate should be able to win this 2v2 that could possibly happen on the bottom side. Chovy with his gold card in hand. Morgan taking a lot of damage, but is able to buffer the hook shot. Down goes Croco. They want to actually just get on top of these members of Hanwha, but the gold cards are there. The disengage is there, and it looks like it should happen, but these are teams that haven't been able to quite hold on to their advantages in other series. It's a little bit of hyperbole, though, as we can see. 2 more inhibitors going down. Good sidestep there by Willa as Summit too far up yet again. Oh, dear. He is going to survive for a little bit longer. Has a GA, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, as there's the Emperor's Divide. It doesn't quite find it, as Morgan is just massive, diving in onto 3 people. The rest of his team are going to be there as well, though, as Willa dives on forward, grabs the kill onto Fate. Now Nexus Turret's going to be taking down. Willa decides to try his hand at some Shurima shuffling, and does it quite nicely as well. I'd like to say is that's a good stun from the gold card, and the Nexus will now be the one to fall down. Hanwha Life Esports from 8th place in the LCK are now match points. Set up team fight compositions, right? Where you park yourself around a dragon pit, a baron pit, and then you're like, all right, let's see who wins the poke war, and then that team manages to get the objective. We've seen that time and time again. That's not what this comp from Hanwha wants to do. No, they're going to press the Destiny button, and then you've got one...
A lot better than the Samira, unless you have perfect slicing Maelstroms and or Emperor's Divides in the late game. You don't even have the Rel Magnet Storm to work with this, because if you had the Rel, you can pair the Rel with the Azir and the Cannon too.
Rel Cannon is just a really beautiful combo.
Yeah, like, I mean, into the Rakan, like, a lot of people don't like to play that matchup, but I can't imagine that's really what Effort is thinking. I mean, he's a great Alistar player.
And we'll see how far behind Morgan is going to fall here in game number 4. It's crazy.
Summit?
This wave's going to move a little bit further.
Ooh, this is tense. Chovy, again, just staying as far away from Azir Lee Sin as possible, but does have his ultimate too, so he can show up here in a moment's notice. He's obviously being zoned out from doing so right now. I think Summit knows about this.
He suspects. He definitely suspects, as they were trying to get that lightning rush, and they do manage to get it. There's the ulti through, and in goes Chovy now, looking to hop underneath this turret, but he's going to take a lot of damage. Decides he's going to flash out, still takes that turret shot, as Fate will get booped back by the blast cone, and now Croco finds himself in front of 2 members. There's the quickness on the bottom side as well, as Def just steals away the first blood. Croco also goes on a huge journey on the top side of the map to kill Willa, and Morgan's like, what's happening, guys? Where is everyone?
Oh man, he's just the catalyst for all of this. He's not really even involved.
Oh no, he might actually be able to kill somebody. A great flash from Morgan, and manages to take down the cannon, utilizing his Omni Stone to get the aftershock. Oh, that was beautiful, and he's gonna survive. Looks like Live Sandbox are going to be okay for the moment. Effort walking over some vision. Prince is here as well, as Summit throws down the ultimate. Doesn't find too much value here as the teleport's coming through from Chovy. Morgan gets the stun onto Summit now, as gold card is in hand. Hasn't picked his target just yet, as the wild cards go wide. Life just trying to control the battlefield. As there's the quickness. 3-man knock up from Vista. And the gold card comes through as well. There's the Heartbreaker, and Liv Sandbox are 100% heartbroken after this one. The romance is flooding out of this team as Hanwha Life Esports are providing their life insurance.
Oh, and Hanwha Life Esports is going to take this Rift Herald easy peasy. If you try to contest this as Liv Sandbox, you're basically deciding you're going to flip the game right now. I mean, this is so greedy if they stay here. Not even able to hit anything either over the wall here. You've got to give this up. But the thing is, there's no other objectives to take, and everybody's already grouped here. It's a lose-lose scenario. Chobi's already back farming.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, you guys are just going to happy feet this? Well, I'll be very happy to actually push this into the turret.
All the milling about. It's like, where are the good options? And like you stated, they just weren't any.
It's so unfortunate as this was such a perfect flash from Morgan.
He got Aftershock as well is just bogus.
Morgan is one of these players that I feel like we want to like when you can't snowball the advantage. But if someone's going to walk like this...
Yeah, he's just dead. Hextech Ultimatum comes down. He throws up the ult, so that's going to get a little bit of CC. And in fact, the Viego is going to fall down. Morgan tries to find Summon, and now Croco is looking to peel. And there's the Emperor's Divide. True Shot Barrage comes through from Def, but it's still a great trade for Liv Sandbox.
This game, 3-0-0. He's going to get caught, though, or is he?
Decent little flash there out from Deft as the Blade Wall comes through. That's going to block a Mystic Shot, but it can't block the Grand Entrance, and that's just another kill for Deft. Look at this, Hanwha Life. They actually want to be here for this one. Effort comes through, gets a decent pulverize, but Willa gets out of the way. Now, the Unbreakable Will. We'll see whether it is actually going to live up to the name, and it looks like the answer's no, as it's not even going to wear off. The kill still comes down. Now, Willa, he's got a whole bunch of CC in his hands. Great pulverize to come through there. And Liv Sandbox, they cannot survive the onslaught. All of the resets coming on through. Depth having a field day, and welcome, Baron. Would you like to have a bit of a battle to start off your time here on the Rift? And he says absolutely yes.
He's going to have to get value in this fight. You lose this Infernal Soul, and you might as well just watch the Nexus explode, because there's no coming back from there. And there's already basically no coming back, but you've got one team fight on the Drake left as Liv Sandbox.
Well, Effort's just going to walk himself into this Tri-Brush. He's looking for a turret to keep himself alive, but it's not going to work. There's a Chovy there, and he's a little bit too scary. Now Willer is going to pick up the cow.
They've got the Rift Herald pressure.
Yeah, Shirley is doing some work, but all of that vision now is given over as Emperor's Divide going to whiff completely, but Fate should be able to keep himself alive unless Chovy decides not to. Yep, there's the gold card. Fate's going to stun himself. That is going to delay the inevitable, but inevitable it is. And now Liv Sandbox, they're going to use that opportunity to try and fight this 4v4. They do manage to take the Drake. So it'd be like, oh, Fate, you were completely out of position. It's just so hard when you have map control as a Twisted Fate, right? As Willa's going to come on down. It looks like Morgan should be able to grab this 1v1, as Summit's going to delay it. Croco now gets exhausted. The cannon has been taken out. Croco with some fancy footwork is going to at least get himself to safety, but now they don't have the kick for the upcoming fight, nor do they have their cannon. And Hanwha Life just going to wait for a minion wave. It's actually a long way away, as Chovy's decided that he's not waiting for that one. He's just going to push down this top lane
and the power,
try and threaten this inhibitor turret.
The power of Soul Point is shown in spades in this game, because you know that if you give up this Drake, yes, it's small amount of value for Liv Sandbox, but it is mostly meaningless compared to what you're gaining. You have now inhibitor control, and Fate, once again, the victim, has a second stopwatch now with the Zonias, but he's going to have to burn it before any fights happen. Look at the damage!
Pressure on Fate. It's just ridiculous. Chovy with so much damage. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Hanwha Life pushing with Reckless Abandon as well. Chovy now just going to pick the pigeon out of the air with his gold card. Does have to flash in the end. Creating a lot of pressure as Deft is splitting on the bottom side. The rest of the team probably could have been doing a little bit more work there, but as you can see, Deft, some meaningful damage, and Chovy's not done yet. He's just going to take the inhib, and they're everywhere. There's like 7 members of Hanwha Life Esports on the map right now.
Yep, and that's going to be inhibitor turret with just one more auto. Okay, well, Deft can't quite get close enough. No minion wave here, and Effort is nearby, but
opportunity as Willa does get all of the information. Morgan, in the meantime, is going to take the 3rd inhibitor.
He has teleport too.
And Summit looking for a potential flank. He's going to dive on top of Vista, finds him with a Gleaming Quill, and Deft finds the shooting gallery. In goes Effort. Deft is in the bouncy castle. Goes Golden now. The quickness is beautiful. Deft trying to flash his way out. There's the S rank, but unfortunately, it does absolutely nothing. And now it's Willa's turn to be the Samira. Picks up resets. Whose resets are they? Viego's or Samira's? I don't know. Morgan doesn't either because he's just winning the game.
That's going to be into that inhibitor, or rather Nexus turret, excuse me, and they don't interrupt the back, but Morgan can kill this Nexus by himself with a few of his friends.
Sad Zoe waving goodbye as well as Fate. Not going to be able to stop this one, but Hanwha Life, after a very disappointing game one.
Form hasn't really reached its final level. And all I know is that if Hanwha Life goes to Worlds, we go into the 2022 spring season with a fully upgraded roster. Even if it's this exact same one, they'll have gained so much from it, and it makes the LCK better. So I think everybody's winning if Hanwha Life goes, based on what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and well, at least Hanwha Life